Hey, everybody, it's your boy, Sean McLaughlin, at Options Sean on Twitter. Flying solo today for the Flow Show. My man Steve Straza is getting a little work done at the house, and it's just, it would be very noisy for him to be broadcasting live from his workstation right now. You probably have people walking around in the background. It would be distracting to say the least. So I said, you know what, Steve, I'll just take it. I'll take it from here. I got you. I'll cover the whole thing. So it's just me. We got Gene in the background hanging out. But hey, this is the Flow Show. So what we do in the Flow Show, typically, me and Straza, it's fully improvised. I come to the show with nothing, right? I bring nothing to the table, right? I'm the low man on the totem pole here. Straza comes to the show with some ideas, some charts that he likes, some setups that he likes, and then we go through it and try to see if there's an options trade we could put on to express our idea. Well, this time, what we're doing is I crowdsourced some ideas in the All Star Options chat room. I reached out to some people there. I said, "Hey, what are some charts you like? What's on your radar?" Some people threw out some ideas for me. I also talked to some of my analysts behind the scenes, and there were a lot of great ideas. We'll talk about some of them, and then we'll talk about one that there was a little cross pollination. The people in my chat room liked this idea. My analysts like this idea, and if they both like it and I like it, that's a triple winning situation. So I think that's a trade we're going to go with right here. But I'm saying all that now because if you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching this live, throw some ideas in the chat, and maybe something catches my eye. We'll check that out. So, Gene, let's bring up my chart right now. I got the VIX showing right here. I wanted to just start off with the VIX because I think the VIX is interesting, telling us an interesting story here. At the current moment, it's trading at 1392, pretty much at the low of the day, and it's about to trade below early last week's low. That's significant because this low here would be the lowest level for VIX since mid to late July, going way back here. July 23rd, I think, was the last time VIX was this low. So this tells me that, man, this bull market is really it's calmed down, right? People aren't nervous about anything. We got the election out of the way. The uncertainty that's been weighing on the market is just kind of going away. And I think that's very bullish for stocks overall. I think that now stocks individually are going to trade on their own merits instead of just everything going up or going down based on macro headlines like elections and earnings results and war and all that stuff. I think now in an environment with VIX is making multi-month lows, heading towards the lowest levels of the year, which would be about mid 11. I just feel like that sets up an environment where stocks are going to start trading on their own merits, which I think is a good thing. All right, so I told you that I crowdsourced some ideas here. A couple ideas. I'm not going to hit on all of them that were thrown me, but there were a couple interesting ones that people are really jazzed about. Let's talk about Upwork. Here's a stock, Upwork. I like this stock. In fact, actually, I'm going to be sharing two different chart screens with you. This is my TrendSpider charts. They're cleaner and prettier to look at, but I could do more with my Thinkorswim chart. So let's go over here. Let's go to Upwork. I pull up the ticker here. I know they're black and ugly, but I got my implied volatility charts down here. So Upwork, it had a big spike a couple weeks ago following earnings. It pulled back, it filled the gap, and now it seems to be retracing. And this would be a new rally closing high if it closed here. Volatility has come down, still a little off the lows, which makes it not an ideal candidate, but certainly a good candidate. Upstart was another one that caught my eye. Similar chart pattern. Both of these look good. My feeling with both of these names is I like the setups. I think maybe we can be a little patient and maybe get in at better prices over the next few days. Especially like it's a holiday week right now. I don't think we need to force a chase here. We might get a better opportunity later. Let's see. There was another couple names here. I'm just looking them up. That people threw out. Gall. I mean, a lot of these have already had big runs here. So this ticker Golf. I mean, is this chart pattern look familiar? I mean, we've just seen three chart patterns that look just like that. Um, we got TPB was another one that came in here. I feel like this one ripped higher. Boy, my camera's having all kinds of trouble today. Sorry, Gene, but it looks like we're back on. TPB, Turning Point Brands. I mean, this thing has rallied very hard over the last 3 weeks. This feels like a chase. I don't want to get into that one. So let's just talk about. Here's the name that we were on. Me and Straza and a couple other guys were on Spaces just a little while ago on Twitter Spaces talking about a bunch of names, and one name that we were talking about and then was also brought up independently by my chat room this morning is Square or Block. I'll still. Well, which is it? Is it Block or is it Square? My chart says Square right here, but then it says Block right there. Nobody knows. Let's call it Square because that's the ticker SQ. This name I like, and I like it for three reasons. Number one, I like that it has rallied pretty hard, and then it seems to be creating a little bit of a high flag here. I mean, it's a little sloppy, but for the last 5 days or so, it's been hanging pretty tight. I like that. That's reason number one. Reason number two, if you look at the bottom of my screen here, here's the implied volatility graph. It is near the lowest levels it's been all year. That means options premiums are cheap. So if I want to keep it simple, I could just buy long calls. And in this case, I do want to just buy long calls. And the reason why is if I zoom out on this chart and go to a weekly chart, look at this chart here, man. We had from I think it's 2001. Actually, no, this looks better on my other screen here. Let's show you this chart. This looks better. Let's go Square. Let's do weekly. Look at this. I mean, this is post-pandemic rally here. This is a weekly chart. We got as high as 275 around there. Now, I'm not saying this stock is going back to 275 on my watch, right? But we are breaking above key resistance levels here that Square, after hitting a low in June. I mean, I guess this technically October 30th of 2023 is the ultimate low, right? But I mean, look how many times we've knocked our heads up above this, up at this level. 90, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could maybe say 5 here. This is more 80, but I mean, it's knocked its head many times above this zone here. And I feel like we might finally get a resolution here. And again, I'm not saying the Square goes to 275, but can this thing go to 150? Why not? That was the last, level of resistance off the initial sell-off. We kind of got up to 150 and then ran out of steam there. Can we get back to 150? I feel like that feels pretty reasonable. And I feel like maybe we can get there by mid-year next year. So with implied volatility being extremely low, and my camera playing fits for my tech guy. Sorry, Gene. By the way, I'm going to get new tech in the next week. It's going to hopefully solve all of these problems. So for those of you who've been watching videos that I do for a long time, you know that I've been having issues with my camera. My screen seems to freeze for some reason. I'm getting new tech next week. It's going to solve this. Anyway, with implied volatility being low and with a long range breakout potentially in play here, I like buying simple long calls. And I'm going to go back to my other screen here and go to the trade option chain. I hope you guys can see this well. I'm looking at the June options. June gives us 7 months roughly from here. And if I scroll down, I'll find the 25 delta strike. It's approximately the 125 strike. I could buy these calls right now for about $450 if I pay the offer. $450 to control Square at 125 in June. Again, let's go back to this chart here. 125 seems like a very reasonable level for Square to get to. And it could get there in the next couple of months if this momentum continues. And we have until June for it to do so. So I like buying June 125 calls. I like paying about $450 for them, give or take. It doesn't need to be perfect. We got time for this to play out. If I want to get cute, I could sell some calls against it to lower my premiums. And I think I might do that. And I'll have all those details in a blog post that I put out about it. So guys, today's Flow Show trade, and this is an abbreviated episode again. It's my man Steve Straz isn't here, but I'm going to buy Square June 125 calls and pay about 450. Now, for those of you who don't know, at All Star Options, we publish full trading plans for every trade that we put on, the setup, why we like it, what option strategy we're going to use, where we manage risk, how we manage risk, where we may or may not take profits, where we may or may not make adjustments along the way. All of those details are laid out in the plan that you get on day one when we put the trade on. And if you aren't getting that, ladies and gentlemen, you need to sign up. You need to sign up for my free newsletter. I'm going to send that out today to you guys. In fact, let me see if I could find that link. I think I have it here. All right, I'll find that for you in a second. But I'll get you the link to sign up for my free newsletter. I'm going to have the details for this trade for Square in there, all the adjustment parameters that we may use and where we may or may not take profits, so you can follow along. And it's free. I send out daily notes almost every day. They're not always trade plans. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're linked to videos. Sometimes they're links to interviews that me and Straza do with other traders. It's a cornucopia of information that options traders will find useful. So sign up for that. Let me find it for you. I'm going to get that link right here. Sorry, this is so disjointed here, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Here it is. I found the link. I'm going to put it in the chat. Free options newsletter. Boom. There it is. It's in the chat. Find that link. You can sign up. It's totally free. I promise I won't spam you. It's just my daily notes. So get it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry for I know Straza's got a lot of fans out there. Straza's got a huge fan base, and I hear about it all the time. So sorry for those of you who are looking for Straza's beautiful face. He'll be back next time, I promise. But hey, I also wanted to make sure we had an episode this week because it's Thanksgiving week, and I have immense gratitude to all of you who watch these shows every week. I have immense gratitude for all my coworkers and everyone out there who engages with us and keeps this fun. So happy Thanksgiving to you and to your family. And we'll be back next week, full steam ahead, riding this bull market wave into the end of the year. All right, everybody. That's it. We'll see you next week. Take care.